MK Pulse proudly sponsors Seclo Sounds. MK Pulse is Milton Keynes' local magazine, bringing helpful information on food, health, fashion, money, travel, culture, and much more to 66,000 readers every month. Plus news, views, and what's on from around the city. If it's happening in Milton Keynes, it's in MK Pulse, and it's available online at www.mkpulse.co.uk. MK Pulse and Seclo Sounds, the heart and soul of the city.
Bringing people and communities together on seclosounds.org.
Your listening station.
Hello, I'm Mike Barry.
And I'm Bob Bluffield.
And together on a Friday morning between 8 and 10 here on Seclo Sounds, we bring you
Pop and rock legends.
This is where we take an in-depth look at a pop star and let you know all about them. 8 o'clock through till 10 o'clock on a Friday morning here on Seclo Sounds.
Well, a very warm welcome to seclosounds.org. How are you this morning?
You were getting where you were then, Michael?
Yeah, no. I was just sort of beginning to think that it's all a bit squidgy, you know. My voice was a tiny bit squidgy this morning, you know. But
I'm not too bad. How are you?
oh, what do you mean you're not too bad? You're not even talking to me. Talk to me now. Then.
Oh, my God, I just blow my head off.
Yes.
Yes, good morning, Michael. Did we get the good morning earlier or not?
Well, we did. We got the... No.
You're being a bit squidgy today.
Yeah, and I don't know why, really, but we'll work it out. We'll work it out somehow or another. Do you think I'm squidgy or not? You know, is it...
A little bit echoey, perhaps.
Echoey, yes. That could be the word for it. I don't know. Never mind. We'll do this.
We'll work it out.
Rock and pop legends on a Friday morning.
It is indeed. We've got another potpourri this one of your choice music today, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
And we've kicked off with Be My Baby, of course, by the... well, we're blowing my head off here. Be My Baby by the Ronettes.
Is that better?
Yes, I think so. Yeah. It's all right. We've got some new equipment. No, I'm going again. I'm fading.
Fading, all right.
Fading fast.
If you talk to me, are you coming back again?
Right. Yeah, we've got new equipment, haven't we? We must explain. And it's taken a while to get used to, isn't it?
Oh, no, not really. It's always been all right up until now. But
Someone's been messing with it again, haven't
somebody's been messing with it again. You know, that's always the problem. You know, you get here and somebody's come along and they've been messing around with the equipment, and of course. Oh, I don't know. Never mind. There we go. Secular Sounds, community radio for Milton Keynes. A very warm welcome to Rock and Pop Legends show this morning. As Bob says, we're going to do a rock and a pop puree.
Of your choice.
Of my choice, yes.
Of your choice,
Well,
yes.
it always seems to be my choice.
That was my choice last week.
It was your choice last week, yes. We had a very good show last week, actually. I did listen back to it.
Yes.
No, and I thought it was a good show.
My wife calls it the Lovies Show, which is very unfair, I think, because she never listens to
I
it.
think it's totally unfair because she does never listen to it.
No,
does she?
these women don't, do they? Our women don't, anyway.
Well, no, but others do.
They do.
If you'd like to join in the show, the telephone is going, so we better. Yes, the telephone is going. Let's press on with the music. Hello.
Are we sorted out now, Michael?
Yeah, we just
All
about,
sixes and sevens a bit there,
just
wasn't we?
about sorted out. Yeah, it's all my fault. I will take full responsibility as the producer and the technical operator for the programme. Yes, it was one of those things, actually. The message on the machine was from Monday. So there we go. I should have panicked over that. And the equipment, well, we do check the equipment out before we go on air. But I don't know, a couple of little knobs twisted around and all that sort of thing. But I think we're back to normal now.
This is the problem when you've got to do two jobs at once,
Well,
isn't
it
it?
is
You've got to be a disc jockey and you've got to be a...
You've got to be multitask.
Indeed, yeah, be a techie too, haven't
Yeah,
you?
to be a tech and a producer and everything else. So let's actually start the show as we should do, because we did start off with the Ronettes. Tell me about the Ronettes.
Well, the Ronettes were an American 1960s girl group from New York City, and they were one of the most popular from that period, and they placed more than 8 songs on the Billboard Hot 100, 5 of which became top 40 hits. They come from Spanish Harlem in New York, and they consisted of lead singer Veronica Bennett, later known as Ronnie Spector, after Phil Spector, because she married, I believe,
she married him,
older Phil the Spector. She was the older sister of Estelle Bennett, and their cousin was Nedra Talley, who was in the trio. The girls have sung together since they were teenagers, when they were known as the Darling Sisters, Darling Darlings. Signed first by the Coal Picture Records in 1961, they moved to Spector's Phillies Records in March 1963. Some of the Ronettes' most famous songs include Be My Baby, which we played, Baby I Love You, The Best Part of Breaking Up, and Walking in the Rain, all of which charted on the Billboard Hot 100. Walking in the Rain won a Grammy in 1965, and Be My Baby was re-inducted into the Grammy Hall of Fame in 1999. In late 1964, the group released their only studio album, presenting the fabulous Ronettes featuring Veronica. I didn't know they'd only recorded one LP, did you? I thought they must have done more than that.
I thought they'd done a lot more than that, yeah.
Yeah, but only active, in fact, until 66. Well, they did try to make a comeback. Rolling Stone ranked it number 422 on the list of 500 greatest albums of all time, so not that highly ranked. And in 2007, the Ronettes were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and into the Vocal Group Hall of Fame in 2004. The Ronettes were the only girl group that toured with the Beatles. There you go. It's a little bit about them.
Right, okay, that's the Ronettes. Next up, of course, we played the Gibson Brothers. Well, the Gibson Brothers, they've been active for quite a long time now, and in fact, they are still active as we speak. A France-based musical group, yes, who had their greatest successes during the disco boom in the late 70s. Their best-known hit singles included Cuba and Que Sea Mi Vida. Well, the three brothers, Chris, who was born in June 1954, Patrick and Alex, they were born in Martinique in the West Indies. They recorded their first single, Come to America, in Paris in 1976, and both it and its follow-up, Non-Stop Dance, made the charts in Europe, where they toured successfully. The following years, they released Heaven, which was picked up by the TK Records in the United States. And in 1978, they recorded Cuba, the mix of disco beats, Latin percussion, soulful vocals, and a catchy tune propelled the song to number 1 in several countries and earned them 4 gold records worldwide. In the UK, it made number 1 on its initial release and number 12 when it was reissued again in 1980. And like their other hits, it was written and produced by Daniel Vanguard and the Belgian producer Jean Kluger. The Gibson Brothers had 3 further big hits in 1979 and 1980. Ooh, What a Lie, Que Sierra Mi Vida, and that one actually sold over 5 million copies worldwide. And Mariana, I should say, and they've continued to record and tour worldwide. Well, there we go. That's just a little look at the Gibson Brothers here on seclosounds.org, community radio for Milton Keynes. We're broadcasting, of course, from our studios at Peartree Bridge, courtesy of Interaction, who are one of our partners. And Interaction have a lovely weekend this weekend. It's called the Loveliness Festival, and it's on tomorrow afternoon, certainly 12 till 2. So they're going to hopefully have all the good weather for it, which is what we asked for.
Yeah, let's hope so. I hope it's not as heavy tomorrow as it is today. It's very heavy today, isn't it?
It's Friday. That's why.
Is that why?
Yeah. Do you know, I never felt to amuse me, really. I was talking to my next door neighbour the other day, and it's like, so hot. You know. But as a race, the British, or the English at any rate, we always moan, don't we?
We're obsessed by the weather, aren't we?
It's too cold. Oh, it's too hot. Oh, it's too wet. Oh, it's too dry.
I think the problem is, in this country, because of where we lie, near the Atlantic, I think our weather patterns are very different to anywhere else. When you get hot in countries, such as hot countries such as India, Thailand, places like that, it's a dry heat. You don't feel as drained of energy as you do here, and it's the same in the winters, isn't it? And you go to the cold climate countries, it's a crisp, cool, nice winter. Whereas here it's a damp, dank winter. And I think this is why we moan a lot.
Oh, all right then.
What do you think?
Well, I agree with you. Let's
Okay.
move on with the music.
She's like the wind through my tree. She rides the night next to me. She leads me through moonlight, only to burn me with the sun. She's taking my heart, but she doesn't know what she's done. Feel her breath in my face, her body close to me. Can't look in her eyes, she's out of my league. Just a fool to believe I have anything she needs. She's like the wind. I look in the mirror and all I see is a young old man with only a dream. Am I just fooling myself that she'll stop the pain? Living without her, I'd go insane. Feel the breath in my face, her body close to me. Can't look in her eyes, she's out of my league. Just a fool to believe I am anything she needs. She's like the wind. Feel your breath in my face, your body close to me. Can't look in your eyes, you're out of my league. Just a fool to believe, she's like the wind. Just a fool to believe, just a fool to believe, she's like the wind. Just a fool to believe, she's like the
Well, that surprised you a little bit, didn't it? Because you didn't think that he was actually a singer, did you?
I didn't know. I never knew he was. Patrick Swayze,
yes.
Sadly, no longer with us. He died of pancreatic cancer on the 14th of September 2009, and he was only 57. Great loss. He was a good actor, wasn't he?
The youngster, really, but yeah, he was a singer and a songwriter.
Yeah,
actually, yes.
born 18th of August 1952 at Houston, Texas. He was a singer-songwriter, actor, dancer as well. Having gained fame with appearances in films during the 1980s, Swayze became popular for playing tough guys or romantic lead males, gaining him a wide fan base with female audiences and gaining him statuses as a teen idol and sex symbol. He starred in various films included Outsiders, Red Dawn, Dirty Dancing, Roadhouse, Ghost, Point Break, Donnie Darko, Jump, as well as in the TV serials North and South and The Beast, which was his final role. During his career, he received 3 Golden Globe Award nominations and was named by People magazine as its sexiest man alive in 1991. I thought that was you, Michael.
No. Or even you, Bob. No.
Certainly not me.
After Dirty Dancing, he found himself in great acting demand, and he appeared in several films, of which Roadhouse, 1989, was the most successful. His biggest role came in 1990 when he starred in Ghost with Demi Moore and Whoopi Goldberg. And in 1991, a year later, he starred alongside Youngblood castmate Keanu Reeves. Must have been relative to
Keanu Reeves, yeah. Keanu Reeves.
Keanu Reeves, no relative for
As in
Jim
piano.
Reeves. Yeah, in another major action hit, Point Break. And he was chosen by People magazine the year, as you say, as the year's sexiest man alive. He was seriously injured in 1998 while filming HBO, that's Home Box Office's Letters from a Killer, near Ione in California, when he fell from a horse and hit a tree. Both of his legs were broken and he suffered 4 detached tendons in his shoulder.
Oh, well, that sounds painful.
It's not very nice at all, is it? Filming was obviously suspended for a couple of months, and the film aired in 1999. He recovered from his injuries, but he had trouble resuming his career until 2000, when he co-starred in Waking Up in Reno with Billy Bob Thornton and Charlize Theron, and in Forever Lulu with Melanie Griffiths. A year later, 2001, he appeared in the cult classic Donnie Darko, where he played a famous motivational speaker, revealed to be a closet paedophile. And in 2004, he played Alan Quatermain in King Solomon's Mines. He also had a cameo appearance in the Dirty Dancing sequel Dirty Dancing Havana Nights as an unnamed dance instructor. He made his West End theatre debut, I should say, in the musical Guys and Dolls, as Nathan Detroit on the 27th of July in 2006, and remained in the role until November of that same year. His previous appearance on the Broadway stage had included productions of Good Time Charlie and Chicago. He also provided the voice for Cash for the country music band Dog in the Fox and the Hound 2, and in the 2007 film in the film Christmas in Wonderland. Swayze played an aging rock star in Powder Blue, co-starring his younger brother Don in their first film together. He also starred in the A&E FBI drama The Beast, as you mentioned it earlier on, filmed in Chicago, and he was the FBI agent Charles Barker.
He was married to Lisa Nemi from the 12th of June 1975 until his death. The couple first met in 1970 when Swayze was 18 years old. Naomi, 15 years old at the time, was taking dance lessons from Swayze's mother. Swayze and Naomi had no children, and in a 2000 interview, Swayze stated that Naomi was the inspiration for his 1987 hit song, She's Like the Wind. Is that what we just played, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think really that was his his best-known hit.
Yeah. I really didn't know he was a singer, I have to say.
No. I suppose that's right, really, because he is... He's been a big, I don't know, it's Swayze's name has actually been commonly used in hip-hop songs. Lyrics. We'll use the phrase like, I'm a Swayze, meaning that the speaker has become like a ghost, meaning he disappeared or is otherwise gone. There is reference to the title character of Swayze's 1990 film Ghost, and it's known to have begun in the early 1990s by prominent rappers such as EPMD, Black Sheep, CL Smooth, and more recently by such rappers as the notorious B.I.G. in Tupac's song Running, Dying to Live, in brackets.
Know them all well, don't you?
Well, yes, we'll skip over that lot, you know. So, a UK Garage, So Solid Crew, band members Oxide and Neutrino, Romeo, Mega Man and Lisa Mafia mentioned his dancing in Dirty Dancing. So, because, I mean, that again, when you mentioned Patrick Swayze, to me, it's Dirty Dancing. That's the show.
Yes.
That's what really sums it up with the guy himself.
Whole list of films, though, from 1979, which was a film called Skate Town, USA, right the way through until, as we say, The Beast in 2009.
Yep.
So long load of films there.
Yep. And sadly, of course, he met an untimely death, really, but cancer's a wicked...
terrible, isn't it?
Right, you're listening to Secular Sounds Community Radio for Milton Keynes.
Yes, the 1980s are back. Hi, I'm Dave and I play the music from the 1980s.
Hi, I'm Charlotte and I play the music from the 1990s.
Classic 90s grooves.
So join us each and every Saturday between 10 and midday.
For double decades on Seclo Sounds. Seclo Sounds.
Hi, this is Rhys Manigan, and please join me for Rhys's Friday Night In between 6 and 8 p.m. on Seclo Sounds. I'll be bringing you the best music, movie reviews and topics to start your epic weekend. You can like my Facebook page, Rhys Friday Night In, and you can also follow me on Twitter at @rmanigan. Then join me on Friday nights between 6 and 8 p.m. on Seclo Sounds.
Hi, this is Andrew Ackerman inviting you to join me for Groove Lounge every Thursday night between 10 and 12 a.m. on Seclo Sounds, playing the very best in smooth jazz and soul. Groove Lounge on Seclo Sounds and TuneIn Radio.
That's a classic, isn't it? Green Onions.
Yeah, I always find it a little bit daunting, though. It sort of does tend to go on a little bit, you know. But,
yeah, I like it. It's good. We used to have an LP of Booker T and the MGs. It was all similar vein type music. I quite like it, but as you say, once in a while, not all the time.
Yeah, I mean, they're an instrumental rhythm and blues and funk band that was influential in shaping the sound of Southern soul and Memphis soul. So really a bit of a soul band, isn't it? Eh?
Soulful, yeah.
Soulful.
Oh,
wonderful, yeah. Go on, tell me who it was.
Well, it's Booker T. Jones was the organ and the pianist, Steve Cropper on guitar, Louis Steinberg on bass, and Al Jackson Jr. on drums. And they came from Memphis, Tennessee. Did you say that? You did say
No,
that?
no.
Did you not? They were, in the 60s, they were members of the house band of Stax Records, who did, of course, Wilson Pickett, Otis Redding, Bill Withers, Sam and Dave, Carla, and Rufus Thomas, and Johnny Taylor. They also released instrumental records under their own name, such as the 1962 hit single we just played called Green Onions, which has been, I remember in the 60s, it used to be a classic that a lot of bands used to play as a sort of lead up to their intermission. That with another song called Poison Ivy, if you remember. As originators of the unique Stax sound, the group was one of the most prolific, respected and imitators of their era. By the mid-1960s, bands on both sides of the Atlantic were trying to sound like Booker T and the MGs. In 1965, Steinberg was replaced by Donald Duck Dunn, like the name.
Yes, Donald Duck.
Lovely, isn't it? Who played with the group until his death in 2012. Al Jackson Jr. was murdered in 1975, after which the trio of Dunn, Cropper and Jones reunited on numerous occasions using various drummers, including Willie Hall, Anton Figg, Steve Jordan and Steve Potts, none of which I have heard of.
No, but there were drummers, and drummers are often not heard of. Well,
very much so,
they
yes.
should be, because they make a lot of noise.
Or
don't they?
drummists, as Mark Parnell would call them. He's a great drummer, Mark Parnell. Yeah. The band was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1992 and the Musicians Hall of Fame and Museum in Nashville, Tennessee in 2008. Having two white members, Cropper and Dunn, Booker T and the MGs was one of the first racially integrated rock bands at a time when soul music and the Memphis music scene in particular were generally considered to be the preserve of black culture.
Yeah, it's interesting because they are still actually going, they're still performing.
Yeah.
But the band was formed as the house band of Stax Records, providing backing music, we've been all that sort of thing. Wilson Pickett and Otis Redding. And let's go a little bit later on a little bit. Instrumental singles and albums would continue to be issued by Booker T and the MGs throughout the 1960s. However, although a successful recording combo in their own right, the bulk of the work done by the musicians in the band during this era was as the core of the de facto house band, again, of Stax Records. And members of Booker T and the MGs, often, but not always, performing as unit, performed as the studio backing band for, and again, that long list, Otis Redding, Sam and Dave, Albert King, etc., etc. Those often assume that Booker T. Jones played on all the above session work. In the mid-1960s, Jones was often studying music full-time at Indiana University, and the Stax writer-producer Isaac Hayes usually stepped in on the occasions when Jones was unavailable for session work.
Shaft.
Yeah, well, that's it. And on several occasions, Jones and Hayes played together, with one on organ, the other on piano. However, Hayes was never an official member of the MGs, and Jones played on all the records credited to Booker T and the MGs, with one exception. And that exception was the 1965 hit Bootleg, which was a studio jam recorded with Hayes on keyboard in Jones's place. And according to Steve Cropper, the song was recorded with the intention of being released as by the Marquees, which was another name used to release singles by the Stax House Band. However, as recordings credited to Booker T and the MGs were meeting with regular commercial success than those credited to the Marquees, the decision was made to credit Bootleg to Booker T, even though Booker T himself doesn't appear on the recording.
Do you want to know where the name came from?
No, go on.
Well, for many years the official story was that the band name of the MGs was meant to stand for Memphis Group, not the MG Sports Car. However, this has proved not to be the case. Musician and record producer Chips Moman, active in Stax Records when the band was formed, for many years claimed that the band was named after his MG sports car, and only after he left the label did Stax publicity department declare that MG stood for Memphis Group. To lend some credibility to this story, Moman had played with Jones and Steinberg in an earlier Stax backing group called the Triumphs, which was also named after his sports car.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
And interestingly, in 1969, Donald Duck Dunn, yes, and Booker T, in particular, had become enamoured with the Beatles, especially their work on Abbey Road. And the appreciation was apparently mutual, as the Beatles had patterned a lot of what they did on the MG's, John Lennon's, on the MG's work, rather, because John Lennon, in fact, was a huge Stax fan who fondly called the group Book a Table at the Maitre D's. And in 1974, Lennon facetiously credited himself and his studio band as Dr. Winston and Booker Table and the Maitre D's on his original rhythm and blues inspired instrumental Beef Jerky. Paul McCartney, like Dunn, played bass melodically without straying from the rhythm or the groove, and it was obvious through each of their playing that they admired one another. Well, after being locked away in the Memphis studio when the company embarked on the Hit the Road Staxi, which was a tour they did in 1967, the Beatles sent limos to the airport and bent down to kiss Steve Cropper's ring. Well, the MGs had no idea until then of the impact that they were having on the rest of the world. Lennon was quoted as saying he always wanted to write an instrumental for the MGs. And in 1970, his wish was granted. Well, in a manner of speaking, because as Jones, Dunn and Jackson recorded Macklemore Avenue, named for the street where Stax was located, Jones later taught Cropper, who hadn't heard of Abbey Road, what to play. And they covered 13 of Abbey Road's songs, condensing 12 of them into 3 medleys, and included a cover version of George Harrison's Something. Well, the album's cover is indeed an intentional pastiche of the Beatles' Abbey Road Street Crossing album cover. The back cover also mirrors that of Abbey Road, with the blurred image of a mini-skirted woman walking out of the photograph, just as on the back of the Beatles' LP.
I can't remember the back of it. There was some talk of McCartney being dead when that picture was appeared, didn't he? Because he apparently hadn't got shoes on the cover picture, and he was meant to signify a ghost.
Yes, yeah.
Apparently.
They have reunited, and, well, as I say, they're still working, actually.
Good club band, I'd imagine.
Very, very much so, yes. Just in 2004, the Rolling Stones magazine ranked the group 93 on the list of the 100 greatest artists of all times. And in 2007, they received the Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award. Also, back in 2004, Eric Clapton featured Booker T, Steve Cropper and Donald Duck Dunn as his house band for the first Crossroads Guitar Festival.
Well, in a motel?
Yes, I remember it well. The event was held at the Cotton Bowl in Dallas and featured many of the legends of various musical genres who play guitar as their primary instrument. I bet that would have been a fantastic event to be at.
Yeah, quite right.
It really would have been. Booker T and MGs was the backup band for several great acts, which Clapton presented live for that 2-day festival and subsequently on the 2-disc DVD of the show. In 2009, April the 21st, Booker T released Potato Hole, which was a new album in collaboration with the band Drive-By Truckers, featuring Neil Young on guitar. And in 2011, Jones released The Road from Memphis, which won a Grammy Award. And more recently, in May of 2012, Donald Duck passed away following 2 concerts in Tokyo and Japan.
Sounds like he passed away because of the 2 concerts in Tokyo, doesn't it? The cause of his death.
It does, but of course it wasn't like that at all. You're listening to Secklow Sounds Community Radio for Milton Keynes with me, Mike Barry.
And me, Bob Bluffield.
And don't forget, of course, on a Saturday morning we are joined by another 2 gentlemen. One
miserable grumpies, aren't they?
Alan Mullion and
Brian White.
Brian White, indeed, yes. And we become the grumpy old men, and we take a look back at what's been happening in the week, and we grump about it a little bit. Sometimes we are a little bit funny.
We try to be.
So we're told. And we play some good music in between times as well. So that's something for you to tune into tomorrow morning here on Secklow Sounds.
I have to say, it was a great show last week, wasn't it?
It was a great show indeed, yes. Thoroughly enjoyed it. I think probably because we were back with
a vengeance, as I say.
Back with a vengeance, and, we'd all had a bit of a break, hadn't we? So there we go. Because you're off to Montetootland soon as well, aren't you?
Not quite sure when yet. Probably September, but I'm going to Cornwall first.
Oh, you're going to Cornwall. You're going to Cornwall, so you won't be here for the one of the shows.
No, Friday and Saturday I will not be here 1 week. I think it's in August, I believe.
Oh, never mind. We won't miss. We will miss you.
That's a shame.
Let's press on. Let's press on with the music.
I've been meaning to tell you
That's what it's called. Hungry Eyes is by a gentleman called Eric Carmen. You're listening to Secular Sounds, 18 minutes away from 9 o'clock. 9, yes, I just said I'm working out, but never mind, there we go. What do we know about Eric Carmen?
Eric Howard Carmen. Don't know much about him, actually. He was born on 9 days before me, in fact, on the 11th of August 1949, making him 64, in Cleveland, Ohio. He comes from Lyndhurst, Ohio, originally. He is an American singer, songwriter, guitarist, and keyboardist. He scored numerous hits across the 1970s, 1980s. First as a member of the Raspberries, that's a bit of an inappropriate name, with a million-selling single with Go All The Way. And then with his solo career, including hits such as All By Myself. Ah, that's the hit, yes. I'm trying to think what his hit was. All By Myself.
Yep.
Never Gonna Fall In Love Again. She Did It. Hungry Eyes and Make Me Lose Control. He was from a Russian-American family. Carmen was born in Cleveland, Ohio, as I said, and grew up in Lyndhurst, where he was involved with music since his early childhood. By the age of 2, he was entertaining his parents with impressions of Tony Bennett and Johnny Ray. By age of 3, he was in the Dalcroze Eurythmics program at the Cleveland Institute of Music. At 6, he took violin lessons from Muriel Carmen, his aunt, then a violinist with the Cleveland Orchestra. And by 11, he was playing piano and dreaming about writing his own songs.
It's fantastic, that, isn't it, really? 11 years of age.
Oh, I'd love to be musical. I couldn't play a note. Not a note. But the arrival of the Beatles and the Rolling Stones altered the dream slightly. By the time he was a sophomore, I love that word, sophomore, at Charles F. Brush High School, Eric Carmen was playing piano and singing in rock and roll bands. Though classically trained in piano, Carmen became a self-taught guitarist, and at 15 he was started guitar lessons, but when the teacher's approach did not fit with what he wanted, he decided to teach himself. He bought a Beatles call book and studied guitar for the next 4 months. He would have been better off with Burt Whedon's, wouldn't he?
That's the way he lost them, did it? Wasn't he? Yeah. He became serious about being a musician while attending the John Carroll University. He joined a band there called Cyrus Erie, which recorded several unsuccessful singles for Epic Records. Cyrus Erie guitarist Wally Bryson had been playing with friends John Bonfanti and Dave Smalley in one of Cleveland's most popular bands, The Choir, which scored a minor national hit in 1967 with the single It's Cold Outside. Well, when Cyrus and The Choir collapsed at the end of the 1960s, Carmen, Bryson, Bonfanti and Smalley teamed up to form Raspberries, which you mentioned before, which was a rock and roll band who were among the chief exponents of the power pop style. Carmen was the lead singer of the group and wrote or co-wrote all of their hit songs. In 1975, the breakup of Raspberries, after the breakup of the Raspberries, he started his solo career, de-emphasising harder rock elements in favour of soft rock and power ballads, which were already the hallmark of Carmen tracks on the Raspberry albums. In 2004, Carmen, along with original Raspberries members, Jim Bonfanti, Wally Bryson and Dave Smalley, reformed the band for a series of sold-out live performances in cities across the United States. And on that tour, the Raspberries recorded a live album of their hits at the House of the Blues on Sunset Strip in Hollywood, California. Both the show and the album received critical acclaim. Carmen himself had stated that he planned to write new, harder-edged songs for the band to perform in the same vein as those of the Raspberries performed in the 70s. And his first 2 solo singles were chart hits in 1976. Both were built around themes by Sergio Rachmaninoff. And the first of these singles, All By Myself, was based on Rachmaninoff's Piano Concerto No. 2, and hit number 2 in the United States and number 12 in the UK, where it was his only charting hit. It sold over 1 million copies and was awarded a gold disc by the RIAA in 1976. The follow-up singles, Never Gonna Fall in Love Again, based on the main theme of the slow movement of Rachmaninoff's Symphony No. 2, reached number 11 on the Billboard Hot 100, and it hit number 1 on the US Adult Contemporary chart, as well as number 1 on the Cashbox chart. A couple of years later, after its 1975 release, the self-titled album was certified gold in 1977 for sales of more than 500,000 records. That's Rock and Roll was also a number 3 hit single for Sean Cassidy.
That's interesting because you don't often associate pop songs as such with classical music, do you? Such as Rachmaninoff's Number 2 movement.
No, you don't. And in fact, it sort of stuck me there when we was sort of putting this thing together, and I'm thinking, what's Rachmaninoff got to do with this? I mean, classical, really classical, but... his second album, Boats Against the Current, came out in the summer of '77 and received strong reviews. It featured such noted backup players as Burton Cummings, Andrew Gold, Bruce Johnson and Nigel Olsson. The album spent 13 weeks in the Billboard album chart, peaking at number 45. It also produced the top 20 single She Did It. But the title track only managed to scrape the bottom of the chart. The title track was later covered by Olivia Newton-John on her album Totally Hot. And a third single, taken from the album Marathon Man, became his first solo single not to hit the Billboard Hot 100. However, Sean Cassidy again made the top 10 in 1978 with Carmen's Hey Deanie. For several weeks in the fall of 1977, Carmen had 3 compositions charting concurrently on the Billboard's Hot 100. Cassidy's 2 big hits and Carmen's own She Did It.
It's more of a success in America than here, of course, isn't he? I mean, we don't hear much of him here, do we?
No.
But in December, Christmas Eve actually, 2013, the first new recording in over 15 years by Carmen, titled Brand New Year, was released. The track, written and recorded in November-December 2013 in Ohio and Los Angeles, was issued via a gratis download by Legacy Recordings as a special Christmas gift to herald the March 2014 arrival of a 30-track career retrospective entitled The Essential Eric Carmen. With Carmen performing lead vocals and piano, Brand New Year featured musical and vocal contributions by Jeffrey Fosker, who played in Brian Wilson's band, who's now with the Beach Boys, of course.
Of course, yeah.
Darina Shahanaja, who is also Brian Wilson's band, and a group called the Wondermints in Los Angeles. Nick Walusko and Mike D'Amico, all with the Wondermints, as I gather.
Yeah.
So he's got a West Coast influence now, then.
He's unfortunately taken a laid-back approach now to music for most of the past decade, working only when the mood strikes him, because he moved back to northeast Ohio from Los Angeles a few years ago, supporting his wife, Susan, and their 2 children, Clayton and Kat, with songwriting and publishing royalties from his past hits. Well, however, on September the 9th of 2008, Carmen was caught drink driving. He was fined and sentenced to 30 days in jail. And the traffic stop and arrest was recorded on video, which was shown on the True TV programme True TV Presents World's Dumbest.
I wonder who sold that one then? Was it a setup?
Who knows? One of those things, isn't it? But he's been divorced since 2009. So there we are. This is just a bit of a look at a gentleman called Eric Carmen. You're listening to Rock and Pop Legends here on Seclo Sounds, Community Radio for Milton Keynes, with me, Mike Barry.
And me, Bob Bluffield.
There we go. The time is coming. It's 9.5 minutes from 9 o'clock.
Nearly a cup of tea time.
Nearly a cup of tea time. I'm going to... I'll apologise for this one in advance, all right? That's all I can say.
To dance our way out of our constriction, gonna be freaking up and down the hang-up alleyway. With a groove I only got, we shall all be moved. Ready or not, here we come, getting down on the one which we believe in. Can I get it on my good foot? Good God. I'm gonna get down on time. Hey, don't tell me now. Giving you more of what you're fucking for. Hey, don't tell the whole funk, nothing but the funk. Ready or not, here we come, getting down on the one which we believe in. Here's my chance to dance my way out of my constriction. Just to dance our way out of our constriction. Gonna be grooving up and down, hang up alleyway. One nation under a groove, getting down just for the funk of it. One nation and we're on the move. Nothing can stop us now. One nation, under a groove, getting down just for the funk of it. One nation, we're on the move. Nothing can stop us now. One nation, under a groove, getting down just for the funk of it. One nation, we're on the move. Nothing can stop us now.
So what made you choose that track, Michael? Is this one of your favourites?
No, it's just that I thought, let's move it around a little bit.
Okay, why the apology though?
Well, because Funkadelic, you've only really got, if you've ever seen a picture of them.
Yes, a bit freaky, aren't they?
I mean, aside from anything else, there's about 450 people in the group.
Well, there has been at times, isn't there?
Yeah, we won't even name them, but...
they're from Plainfield, New Jersey, and Detroit, Michigan. They're a funk, psychedelic soul, psychedelic rock and funk rock band from 1968 to 1981. So, fairly hefty career. They recorded on the Westbound and Warner Brothers label, and their associated acts were Parliament, which was their sister act apparently, and Bootsy's Rubber Band, which I love the name of.
And the Doo-Wop Group. Well, no, the Doo-Wop Group was the Parliament. So.
Right. Funkadelic is most prominent during the 70s. A band and its sister, as I said, Parliament, both led by George Clinton as opposed to Bill Clinton. Although he's a musician too, isn't he?
He is indeed.
So he might well have been one of their many members.
He's good at playing the organ.
Yes, so I hear. And they began the funk music culture of the decade. The group would become Funkadelic was originally formed by George Clinton in 1964 and the unnamed musical backing for his doo-wop group, The Parliaments, while on tour. The band originally consisted of musicians Frankie Boyce, Richard Boyce and Langston Booth, plus the 5 members of The Parliaments on vocals. Boyce, and Booth, like that, don't you? Boyce, and Booth.
Yeah, they're good solicitors.
Yeah. Enlisted in the army in 1966. As a surprise, they took them. And Clinton recruited bassist Billy Bass Nelson, big bad Billy Bass Nelson, and guitarist Eddie Hazel in 1967. Then added guitarist Tool Ross and drummer Tiki Forward. The band named Funkadelic was coined by Nelson after the band relocated to Detroit in 1968. Because of a dispute with Revilot, the record company that owned the name, The Parliaments, the ensemble began playing under the name of Funkadelic. What else do you want to say about them?
Well, in 1975, Michael Hampton, a teen guitar prodigy, replaced Hazel as the premier lead guitarist in Parliament Funkadelic, and he was a major contributor to the next several Funkadelic albums. Funkadelic left Westbound in 1976 and moved to Warner Brothers, and their first album for Warner Brothers, Hardcore Jollies, in 1976. Just before leaving Westbound, Clinton provided that label with a collection of recently recorded outtakes, which Westbound released as the album Tales of Kid Funkadelic. And that album did significantly better commercially than Hardcore Jollies, and included Undisco Kid, a rhythm and blues top 30 single, in 1977. And Westbound capitalised further by releasing the anthology The Best of the Early Years. And as Parliament began achieving significant mainstream successes in the 1975-78 period, Funkadelic recorded and released its most successful and influential album, One Nation Under a Groove, in 1978, adding former Ohio players keyboardist Walter Junie Morrison and reflecting a more melodic dance-based sound. The title track spent 6 weeks at number 1 on the Rhythm and Blues charts, and around the time that Parliament was enjoying the number 1 Rhythm and Blues single Flashlight and Acaboogie. Uncle Jan Wants You in 1979 followed Funkadelic's new, more electronic sound production. And the albums contain the 15-minute Not Just Knee Deep, featuring Four Spinners lead singer Philippe Wynne, yes, an edited version of which topped the Rhythm and Blues charts. And the first official Funkadelic album, the electronic spanking of War Babies, was released in 1981. And the release was originally a double album project, but it was reduced to a single disc under pressure from Warner Brothers. And some of the deleted tracks would appear on future Parliament Funk release. Most notably the 1982 hit single Atomic Dog, which appeared on the first George Clinton solo album.
The electric spanking of War Babies. What sort of title is that?
Well, I don't know, but it conjures up
Conjures up all sorts of things, doesn't it?
Current feeling, I suppose. Spanking. No, it's gone over the top. We won't plug that one.
No. So, Clinton continued his P-Funk collective in the 1990s and 2000s with a revolving stable of musicians, as we've seen. About 40 of them in all, I should think. Some of whom remain from the classic lineups of Funkadelic and Parliament. The rock-oriented sound of Funkadelic has diminished as Clinton has moved towards more of an R&B and hip-hop sound. And in 1997, the group was inducted into Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, yet the Moody Blues haven't been. How do you make that one out?
Well, I don't know. It's one of those things, isn't it? Sometimes your face fits, your face fits.
Yes.
And if your face doesn't fit...
It doesn't fit.
It doesn't fit.
No.
And we hope your face fits here on Seclo Sounds, community radio for Milton Keynes. That's a horrible pun, isn't it? Never mind.
Yes.
If you'd like to get involved with it, producing programmes, you might have an idea that you would like to do one yourself, then let us know. Just send us an email to radio@seclosounds, and we'll pick it up from there, okay? Radio@seclosounds. And in fact, that's the email address if you want to send any notification to us at all, you know, whether you like the programmes, you like the shows, you'd like more shows, different shows, or you'd like to be involved with the radio station. That's all you have to do.
Or if you want to complain about Funkadelic.
If you want to complain about Funkadelic. Never mind, the time is now 9 o'clock here in Milton Keynes.
Should we say good morning to Lynn?
Yes, good morning.
Hello, Lynn. Hope you're feeling better, my dear. You weren't too well earlier in the week. I won't go into detail, but you had a curry, didn't you?
Oh, yes.
Hope you've recovered.
Yes, indeed.
Speak
and
to you later.
Andy and Carol over there in France, Mons 2.
Mons 2.
I'm sure that they're tuned in and listening to us as we speak. And also to Adrian. Adrian is the director of Interaction MK. Interaction down at Pear Tree Bridge is where we're broadcasting from. Our studios are set in the lovely grounds of the Rectory at Interaction. Tomorrow they have a Loveliness Festival. Starts at 12 across. Yeah, it's the grounds are open and there's going to be as the name says, Loveliness. There's going to be bands performing and there's loads of things for children to do. So if you're looking for something to do, no, not if you're looking for something to do, come along to Pear Tree Bridge to
Drop
Interaction
everything
tomorrow.
else, in fact.
Drop it and come along tomorrow afternoon, right? And you will enjoy yourself. That's guaranteed.
Listen to the Sticks Radio Show with me, Terry Sullivan, here on Seclo Sounds every Monday from 10 a.m. with guests from the world of entertainment and sport across hearts, beds and bucks. The Sticks Radio Show, online at seclosounds.org.
Hi, this is Mike Johnson, your conductor for the gospel train Sweet Inspiration. You can get on board every Saturday between 4 and 6 p.m. online at seclosounds.org. I'll be taking you on a journey through the many forms of gospel music, and we'll stop by the church on the way. That's Sweet Inspiration with me, Mike Johnson, every Saturday between 4 and 6 p.m. on Seclo Sounds.
MK Pulse proudly sponsors Seclo Sounds. MK Pulse is Milton Keynes' local magazine, bringing helpful information on food, health, fashion, money, travel, culture, and much more to 66,000 readers every month. Plus news, views, and what's on from around the city. If it's happening in Milton Keynes, it's in MK Pulse, and it's available online at www.mkpulse.co.uk. MK Pulse and Seclo Sounds, the heart and soul of the city.
Hi, this is Andrew Ackerman inviting you to join me for Groove Lounge every Thursday night between 10 and 12 a.m. on Seclo Sounds, playing the very best in smooth jazz and soul. Groove Lounge on Seclo Sounds and TuneIn Radio.
Hello, I'm Mike Barry.
And I'm Bob Bluffield.
And together with Alan Mullion, we bring you The Grumpy Old Men on Saturday morning between 8 and 10. We take a look back at what's been happening during the week and
Let's just say discuss it. Oh yes, we do play some good music as well. That's all here every Saturday morning between 8 and 10 on Seclo Sounds. Bringing people and communities together on seclosounds.org.
Your listening station.
I want to know, where are you tonight? Tonight. I want to know, where are you tonight? Tonight. I've got to know, where are you? Girl, I got to find you.
Well, good morning, Lynn, and thanks for your message. I'm glad you're boogieing away this morning like we are in the studio. That was Tom Johnston, a musician born 15th of August 1948. Of course he's a musician. He's a guitarist and vocalist, in fact, known principally as a founder guitarist, lead vocalist and songwriter for the Grammy award-winning rock group, the Doobie Brothers. Didn't know that. Doobie. As well as for his own solo career, his off and on career with the Doobie Brothers spans more than 40 years, during which time the band exhibited numerous successful styles. There you go. Johnson is most well known for both his lead guitar and vocal role, as I say, with the Doobie Brothers, as well as for his adaptation of his own acoustic guitar style, blending a unique strum and percussion accented rhythm at the same time on one instrument. This style interwoven with melodic hammer-ons. Example, early on, Johnston riff and vocal gave Johnston an early signature sound inside of popular 1970s rock music. All the rhythm structures behind a long train running and listen to the music were formulated first for an acoustic guitar and then reapplied in similar style to an electric guitar. So there you are.
He was born in California, and his greatest musical influences during his youth included those of Little Richard, Bo Diddley, Elvis Presley and James Brown, and other rhythm and blues artists featured on the radio in the 1950s. After brief school stints with the saxophone and clarinet at the age of 12, Johnston took up the guitar. I started out on the clarinet at 7, he says, and I played that for 8 years. I also played the saxophone for 3 years, drums for 1.5 years, and took up the guitar when I was in the 7th grade. That was pretty much of a rebellion image trip, but I felt at home at the guitar. I loved the saxophone and played tenor and baritone. But unfortunately, when I hung the clarinet up, I hung up all the Reed instruments.
Reed
Instruments, yes.
Nonetheless.
And just started playing guitar. And I never touched them again. I taught myself guitar and a little piano at home. I played piano on the first album, the Doobie Brothers, and a little harmonica on the few others. Following the blues and rhythm styling of Freddie King, Jimmy Reed and Chuck Berry, he'd performed his first band by age 14. Johnston recounted to Vintage Guitar magazine that he was a huge James Brown fan. Still am. I saw him in 1962 after Live at the Apollo came out, and it was a life-altering experience. In his early career, he played in a variety of bands, including a Mexican wedding band that played half soul and half Latin music. His interest in rhythm and blues led to singing in a stole group from a neighbouring town, and eventually his own blues
Do you
brand.
think they play the old Birdie song, this wedding band?
Yes, that's horrible.
Oh, go there.
He moved to San Jose to finish college and started playing in bands around town. And it was there that he met Skip Spence, a former drummer with Jefferson Airplane and guitarist founding member of a group that had a major influence on the Doobie Brothers, a chap called Moby Grape.
Oh, Moby Grape, yeah. We played them on the Californian Sound. We did a show on, didn't we? Moby Grape, yeah, West Coast band,
That's right, yeah.
From San Francisco, in
Yeah.
fact.
Well, Spence introduced Johnston to John Hartman. Johnston was a graphic design art major at San Jose State and wound up living at 285 South 12th Street, which was a musical centre for San Jose at the time. It didn't matter if they played B3 or drums, guitar, bass or horns, they all ended up in our basement, Johnston recalls. Johnston and Hartman soon formed their own band, Pud, featuring Greg Murphy on bass. Pud, which is a really rather peculiar name for a band.
Is it Pud?
Pud or Pud, I don't know. P-U-D, you know.
Pud, yeah.
You know, I like a bit of Pud, but it could be Pud, like mud. I don't know. However, they played at many clubs in and around San Jose, including the Golden Horn Lounge, where they met Pat Simmons in Cupertino in California, which no longer exists, apparently. John Hartman and Johnston lived in the 12th Street house for about 4 years, whereupon Dave Sjogren joined them to replace Greg Murphy, and Pat Simmons was recruited. They had the nucleus of a new band, and Pud gave way to the Doobie Brothers.
And throughout much of an initial 7-year and 6-album discography, Johnston wrote and sang many of the Doobie Brothers' early hits, including Listen to the Music, which hit number 11 on the Billboard Top 100 chart in 1972. Jesus Is Just Alright, written by Arthur Reynolds and covered by the Byrds, which reached number 35 on Billboard in 73. Rocking Down the Highway, China Grove, both Billboard Top 20 hits in the Top 100. Long Train Running, number 8 on Billboard. Another Park, Another Sunday, and Eyes of Silver. He also sang the hit song Take Me in Your Arms, Billboard Hot 100 hit 1975, which was written by Holland, Dozier and Holland of the Four Tops fame.
The Four Tops, indeed, yeah. In 1973, the British music magazine M&E, the New Musical Express, reported the relatively trivial news that Johnson had been arrested in California on a charge of marijuana possession. More seriously, however, followed years of road touring lifestyle and health issues surrounding stomach ulcers, which stood as a challenge, which had stood as a challenge since high school. Johnson became severely ill on the eve of a major tour beginning in Memphis in Tennessee in 1975 to promote Stampede. His condition was so precarious that he required emergency hospitalisation for a bleeding ulcer. While Johnson was convalescing and the tour already underway, fellow Doobie brother Jeff Baxter proposed recruiting a fellow Steely Dan alum to fill the hole. This led to the emergency hiring of Michael McDonald, who became the lead singer of the band. Well restored to fitness in 1976 and briefly back in the fold, Tom contributed one original song to Taking It on the Streets, Turn It Loose, close brackets, and also added a vocal cameo to Pat Simmons' tune Wheels of Fortune. He also made live appearances with the band in 1976, appearing in a concert filmed that year at the Winterland in San Francisco, excerpts from which appear occasionally on VH1 Classic, but which sideline once again in the fall due to exhaustion. None of Johnson's songs appeared on Living on the Fault Line, though he had written and the band had recorded 5 of his compositions for that album. Finally, before Fault Line was released, Johnson had his songs removed and he left the band that he co-founded, though he did receive credit for guitars and vocals and was pictured on the album's inner sleeve band photo. After a few years of restored health, but growing differences in music direction between band members, Johnson finally left in 1977 to pursue a solo career that produced 2 albums with Warner Brothers, Everything You've Heard Is True and Still Feels Good, which was actually reissued on compact disc by Wounded Bird Records, and a Billboard Hot 100 hit Savannah Nights, which made number 34. He toured in the late 70s and early 80s with the Tom Johnson Band, which featured fellow Doobie alum John Hartman on drums. While working on this solo project in 1982, Johnson rejoined the band for a farewell tour concert, and then the Doobie Brothers would call it quits as a band for the next 5 years. So there we go.
I don't know much about him really, apart from what we've just discussed. But Johnson and his wife Diana now live in northern Marin County, California, which is of course the other side of the Golden Gate Bridge, where the big redwood trees are.
He's got a daughter as well, hasn't he?
Lara Johnson, is a singer-songwriter featuring a powerful voice and dynamic stage presence, performing soulfully influenced pop songs. She has toured extensively both as a solo opening act for excellent Kiss and Heart, and as a backing vocalist for artists like Don Henley of the Eagles, of course, and Belinda Carlisle. Lara was a competitor on MTV's Rock the Cradle and was 2011 participant in American Idol. Tom's son Christopher lives and works in Marin. There you go.
There you go.
Right. Tell them all here.
You get it all just here on Friday morning on Rock and Pop Legends with me, Mike Barry.
And me, Bob Bluffield.
All from Seclo Sounds Community Radio for Milton Keynes, broadcasting from our studios at Pear Tree Bridge, courtesy of Interaction.
You can get it if you really want. You can get it if you really want. You can get it if you really want. But you must try and try. You succeed at last. Yeah. Persecution got your mind set on a dream, you can get it the hard it may seem now. You can get it if you really want. You can get it if you really want, yeah. You can get it if you really want. But you must try and try. You'll succeed at last. Don't you know it? Listen, Rome was not built in a day. Opposition will come your way, but the hotter the battle you see, the sweeter the victory now. You can get it if you really want. You can get it if you really want. You can get it if you really want. But you must try. You'll succeed at last. You can get it if you really want. You can get it if you really want. You can get it if you really want. But you must try. You'll succeed at last. Don't you know it? Don't I show?
Interesting, isn't it, really? Because when we had the show this morning, I know I was flapping about. I'm not going to blame it on anybody else but me. But at one stage, we even got the microphone up, which is something you never do in a studio. Which means that, it does discipline you to knowing not to swear and things like that.
That's right.
Or say naughty things. But
What do you say? Leave it outside the studio.
Yeah, it's interesting that. Had you been a fly on the wall in our conversations just now, it might have
opened your eyes a bit.
Opened your eyes a little bit, yes. Desmond Decker.
I'm very croaky this morning. I think I've got a frog in my throat as well. I don't know
Take
why.
it out then.
Yeah.
Well, you like frog's legs, don't you?
I do.
You eat frog's legs, don't you?
Not very rarely.
Yeah.
Only a couple of times in my life, actually.
Yeah, because the trouble is you need a handful of them to make a meal. Well,
That's right. Yeah,
starch, isn't it?
very much like chicken, really, but not a lot of it. On a leg, you need quite a few dozen legs. Anyway, Desmond Decker. What do we know? He was born. I didn't know he's died. He was born in 16th of July 1941. He was a Jamaican ska, rocksteady and reggae singer, songwriter and musician. Together with his backing group, the Aces, consisting of Wilson James and Easton Barrington Howard, he had one of the earliest international reggae hits with the Israelites, as you might remember, as far back as 1968. Other hits included 007 in brackets Shantytown in the following year, 1967, It Mek in 1969, and You Can Get It If You Really Want in 1970, which we just played, which was the gist of our conversation, which I won't go into.
No.
Yeah, he was born in St Andrew Parish in Jamaica, and he died in Thornton Heath, Greater London, England, in May 1964.
You haven't given out his full name yet, actually, because although it's he calls himself Decker.
Desmond Adolphus Dakers.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't realise that.
No, it's an interesting one.
What do we know? Desmond Adolphus Dakers. I was just getting tongue-tied.
Let's just call him Des.
Des, yeah. Decker spent his early formative years in Kingston, the capital of Jamaica. From a very young age, Decker would regularly attend a local church with his grandmother and aunt. This early religious upbringing, as well as his enjoyment of singing hymns, led to a lifelong religious commitment. Following his mother's death as a result of illness, Decker moved to the parish of St Mary, then later to St Thomas. While at St Thomas, Decker embarked on an apprenticeship as a tailor before returning to Kingston, where he secured employment as a welder. His workplace singing had drawn the attention of his co-workers, who encouraged him to pursue a career in the music industry. And in 1961, he auditioned for Coxsone Dodd Studio One and Duke Reid Treasure Isle, though neither audition was successful. The young unsigned vocalist then successfully auditioned for Leslie Kong's Beverly record label and was awarded his first recording contract.
Well, despite having achieved his aim of securing a recording deal, it would be a further couple of years before Decca would see his first record released. Eventually, in 1963, Kong chose Honour Your Mother and Father, written by Decca, and the song that Decca had sung in his Kong audition 2 years earlier, and that became a Jamaican hit and established Decca's musical career. This was followed by the release of the tracks Sinners Come Home and Labour for Learning, and it was during this period that Desmond Decca adopted the stage name, or Desmond Dakers, but he adopted the stage name of Desmond Decca. His fourth hit, King of Ska, backing vocals by the Cherry Pies, also known as the Maytays, made him...
Oh, Mai Tais. It's a drink. It's a cocktail.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I'd never heard of that. However, we live and learn, and learn. That made him into one of the island's biggest stars. Decca then recruited four brothers, Carl, Patrick, Clive and Barry, surname Howard, as his permanent backing vocalists to perform with him under the name Desmond Decca and the Aces. Well, Desmond Decca and the Aces recorded a number of Jamaican hits, including Parents, Get Up, Edna, This Woman and Mount Zion. The theme of Decca's songs during the first 4 years of his career dealt with the moral, cultural and social issues of mainstream Jamaican culture, respect for your parents, religious morality and education. In 1967 he appeared on Derek Morgan's Tougher Than Tough, which helped become a trend of popular songs commenting on the rude boy subculture, which was rooted in Jamaican ghetto life where opportunities for advancement were limited and life was economically difficult. Decca's own songs didn't go to the extremes of many other popular rude boy songs, which reflected the violence and social problems associated with ghetto life, though he did introduce lyrics that resonated with the rude boys, starting with one of his best-known songs, 007 Shanty Town. The song established Decca as a rude boy icon in Jamaica and also became a favourite dance track for the young working-class men and women in the United Kingdom's mod scene. 007 was a top 15 hit in the UK, and his UK concerts were attended by a large following of mods wherever he played.
Yeah, that's interesting. The rude boys, I presume, is this something like Yardies, would you think?
Could be.
Decca continued to release rude boy songs such as Rude Boy Train and Rudy Got Soul, as well as mainstream cultural songs like It's a Shame, Wise Man, Hey Grandma, Unity, If It Pays, Mother's Young Girl, Sabotage and Pretty Africa. Many of his hits from this era came from his debut album 007 Shantytown. In 1968, Decca's Israelites was released, which was probably his biggest hit, wasn't it?
Yep.
Eventually topping the UK singles charts in April 1969 and peaking in the top 10 of the US Billboard Hot 100 in June 1969. Decca was the first Jamaican artist to have a hit record in the US with a form and style that was purely Jamaican. That same year saw the release of Beautiful and Dangerous, Writing on the Wall, music like Dirt, which won the 1968 Jamaican Independence Festival Song Contest. Bongo Girl and Shining a Ling. Some lovely titles there. They really roll off the tongue, don't they? 1969 saw the release of It Mek, which became a hit both in Jamaica and the UK. Decca also released Problems and Picnic Gal, both of which were popular in Jamaica, although only Picnic Girl managed to chart in the UK top 50. In 1969, Decca took permanent residency in the United Kingdom, and so on and so forth.
Well, in 1970, we released You Can Get It If You Really Want It, which we heard earlier on, produced, written by Jimmy Cliff, actually, which reached number 2 in the UK charts. He was initially reluctant to record the track, but was eventually persuaded to do so by Leslie Kong. Decca's version uses the same backing track as Cliff's original. Kong, whose music production skills had been a crucial part of both Decca's and Cliff's careers, died in 1971. This had an impact on the careers of both artists for a short period of time, and in 1972 the Rude Boy film The Harder They Come was released and Decca's 007 was featured on the soundtrack. In 1975 Israelites was re-released and became a UK top 10 hit for the second time. It also began working on new material with the production of the duo Bruce Anthony in 1974, and a year later this collaboration resulted in the release of Sing a Little Song, which charted in the UK's top 20. This was in fact his last UK hit.
He died of a heart attack on 25th of May 2006 at his home in Thornton Heath in Croydon, of course. In age 64, he was preparing a headline of World Music Festival in Prague. Decca was divorced and survived by his son and daughter.
I wonder where he lived in Thornton Heath, because I used to live not far from Thornton Heath, yes, and I was actually born in the borough of Croydon, born in Mayday Hospital.
Oh, really?
Never mind, look at the time. It's 27 minutes past 9 o'clock here in Milton Keynes. You're listening to Seclo Sounds, community radio for Milton Keynes, broadcasting from our studios at Pear Tree Bridge. And apologies if you heard a little bit of background noise there, but what they're doing is they're actually cutting the grass ready for tomorrow's Loveliness Festival. And as I look out the window here at the activity that's going on, they're getting ready for what is going to be a real fun weekend down here at Pear Tree Bridge in Milton Keynes. So
and you could smell the grass, can't you, listeners?
You can actually, yes. Well, I can, and it's not going to do my hay fever any good.
No, this is why I'm getting a bit croaky, I think. Croak.
Yeah, well, croak.
And we have to have the window open because it's like an oven in here this morning, isn't it?
It is indeed. Never mind, on we go with music.
Somebody I've never heard of called Mary Clayton. She was born on the 25th Christmas Day, 1948, nonetheless. She's an American soul and gospel singer, both solo and backup, and an actress. She's provided a number of backup vocal tracks to songs recorded by major performing artists during the 1960s, most notably with a duet with Mick Jagger on Give Me Shelter by the Rolling Stones. Mary's featured in 20 Feet from Stardom, the Oscar-winning documentary about background singers and their contributions to the music industry. In 2013, she released The Best of Mary Clayton, a compilation of her favourite songs. She comes from Gerttown, New Orleans, Louisiana, and she's associated with the Raelettes, the Rolling Stones, of course, and Sister Love. Born in Gerttown, Clayton began her recording career in 1962 at the age of 14, singing Who Can I Count On? In brackets, When I Can't Count On You. Get a calculator, that's the answer to that one. As a duet with Bobby Darin on his album You're the Reason I'm Living, a year later she recorded the first version of the Shoop Shoop song, It's in His Kiss, although it was Betty Everett's version of the same year that reached the top 10 in the Billboard Hot 100. Her early career included performances with artists including Ray Charles as one of the Raelettes, Pearl Bailey, Phil Ox and Burt Bacharach. She's often credited as having recorded with Elvis Presley, but her name does not appear in Elvis sessionographies. In 1971, she co-wrote the song Show Nuff, which is about her mother. Don't know why. She contributed vocals to Donald Cammell and Nicholas Roeg's 1968 film Performance. That starred Mick Jagger, I believe. Clayton also sang backup on several tracks of Neil Young's debut album, Neil Young, originally released in 1968, which, funny enough, I got yesterday. I bought that yesterday.
Really?
From the great Amazon. Yeah. She's best known for a 1969 performance in a duet with Mick Jagger in Gimme Shelter. The Stones had intended to have Bonnie Bramlett sing, but Bramlett was not available because of illness. Clayton also sang backing vocals to Leonard Skinnard's Sweet Home Alabama. Early in her career, Clayton sang backup vocals for Tom Jones, Joe Cocker on Feeling Alright, Linda Ronstadt and Carole King. So she's been around a bit.
Has been, yeah.
She also originated the role of the Acid Queen in the original 1972 London production of The Who's Tommy. Well. In 1975, she was featured prominently on Ringo Starr's On Oh My My, a Billboard Top 10 single in early 1974. More recently, Clayton has provided background vocals for Sparta's latest album, Threes, on the songs Atlas and Translation. As an actress, she co-starred with Ali Sheedy in the 1987 film Made to Order and played Verna D. Jordan in the final season of Cagney and Lacey. Oh, well.
See, you didn't know much about it, but you're learning a little bit now, aren't you, on Pop and Rock Legends on Seclo Sounds. In 1990, she recorded her own version of Gimme Shelter, and it became the title track of her debut solo album released that year. Her version would be the first of 5 singles under her name to crack the Billboard Hot 100, reaching 73. In the mid-1970s, she sang on the Blackbirds R&B hit Rock Green Park, and she continued to release solo albums throughout the next decade, notching several minor R&B singles. Clayton performs a live version of what was deemed the black national anthem, Lift Every Voice and Sing, on the soundtrack of the 1973 Robert Altman and film Brewster McCloud. She sang You're Always There When I Need You, the main title for the 1980 film The Nude Bomb, which is the first Get Smart and a movie and stars Don Adams. She also sang the song Yes, which we just heard, and that was for the 1987 film Dirty Dancing, and featured on the soundtrack album. This tune became her biggest hit to date to crack the Billboard 100, peaking at number 45 in 1988. And she also recorded backing vocals for and sang the Man with the Golden Gun bridge on Tori Amos's 1994 hit Cornflake Girl.
Not a lot of this means much to me.
Oh, well, there you go. You see, you are learning. Clayton, she married jazz artist Curtis Amy from 1970 until his death in 2002. And Clayton's brother is the Little Feet percussionist Sam Clayton. She had a miscarriage upon returning home from recording Gimme Shelter. Some hypothesise this was due to the strain associated with reaching such high notes while singing, although the validity of such claims, of course, is highly disputable. And sadly, this year, in fact, just over a month ago, on June the 16th, Clayton was severely injured in her lower limbs in a car accident in Los Angeles in California. So, Mary, we hope that all is well with you and that you're making a good recovery, speedy recovery, because I know, especially with lower limbs, it can be not very nice at all.
No.
Right, you're listening to Seclo Sounds Community Radio for Milton Keynes.
Hi, this is Rhys Manigan, and please join me for Rhys's Friday Night In between 6 and 8 p.m. on Set Close Sounds. I'll be bringing you the best music, movie reviews and topics to start your epic weekend. You can like my Facebook page, Rhys Friday Night In, and you can also follow me on Twitter at @rmanigan. Then join me on Friday nights between 6 and 8 p.m. on Set Close Sounds.
Plain Talking with Mick Bannister, Thursdays at 8 p.m. on Seclo Sounds. Check in for an hour of scintillating chat and music with Mick Bannister and his guests from the world of film and literature. He'll be talking about their achievements and inspiration and finding out about the books and music that accompany them on their travels around the world. Get to know the person behind the headlines. Catch Plain Talking with Mick Bannister, Thursdays at 8 p.m. here on Seclo Sounds.
Bringing people and communities together on seclosounds.org.
Hey, baby, where you going? No, wait a minute, you can't leave now.
Go on then.
Oh, Linda Clifford. What's the track called, Michael?
The track is called Runaway Love.
It's another lady I confess I've never heard of. She was born on the 14th of June 1948 in New York. She's an American R&B, disco and house music singer and actress. She scored hits from the 1970s to the 80s, notably with If My Friends Could See Me Now. So remember that. Bridge Over Troubled Water, which I thought was Simon & Garfunkel, but she probably did it first. Runaway Love and Red Light. She is a former Miss New York State and fronted a jazz music trio before switching to rhythm and blues. After winning her title, Clifford started working as an actress, playing minor roles in major films such as The Boston Strangler with Tony Curtis and Henry Fonda in Coogan's Bluff with Coogan's Bluff with Clint Eastwood and Sweet Charity with Shirley MacLaine. Unsatisfied with her roles, Clifford decided to concentrate on her singing career, performing for a year in Miami area nightclubs with the Jericho Jazz Singers, before forming her own group, Linda and the Trade Winds. In 1973, she was signed to Paramount Records, and her first single, It's Gonna Be, in brackets, A Long, Long Winter, became a minor hit on the US Billboard R&B chart in the winter of 1974. She moved to Curtis Mayfield's Custom Records label in the mid-70s, and in 1977 saw the release of her first album, Linda. But it was her dance cover of If My Friends Could See Me Now in 78 that she had club and pop chart success with. It was her first number one on the Billboard Dance Chart. Album of the same name became her most successful and included also Runaway Love, a mid-tempo R&B track that proved to be one of the most recognisable tunes. And in 79 she released her disco version of Bridge Over Troubled Water from the album Let Me Be Your Woman, followed by another record of the same year, Here's My Love.
In 1980, Linda released a duet album with Curtis Mayfield, The Right Combination, and recorded a single, Red Light, for the Fame soundtrack in 1980. It became another hit and reaching number one spot in America, the American Dance Chart. She would go on to have two more number one disco hits in the US, Shoot Your Best Shot in 1980 and Don't Come Crying to Me in 1982, which makes 4 in total. She released 6 high-profile albums when she was under contract on the Cortome label, all supervised by Curtis Mayfield, generally produced by Jill Askey, a jazz trumpet player and musical director for many Motown acts, which made mixes by Jim Burgess, with many mixes by Jim Burgess or Jimmy Simpson, the brother of Valerie Simpson from Ashford and Simpson. The 6th, I'm Yours, was produced by Isaac Hayes, with the exception of one song from the Fame soundtrack Red Light, written by Pitchford and Gore. Cortum Records were distributed by Warner Brothers in 1977-78, by RSO in 79-80, and by the end of the 80s by Capitol. Her contract switched entirely to Capitol for an additional album, her 7th, named I'll Keep On Loving You. It included collaboration by Luther Vandross and the original version of the All the Man That I Need, another song written by Pitchford and Gore. They wrote this particular song with Clifford and her husband in mind, and a year later it was covered by Sister Sledge. In 1990 by Whitney Houston, and in 1994 by Luther Vandross under the name All the Woman I Need. On his album songs, Vandross even credited Houston for being the artist who did the original version of the song, forgetting that it was originally Clifford's song and that he was a background vocalist and the vocal arranger for her version.
Her 1984 offering Sneaking Out did relatively well on American R&B chart. Clifford's last studio album to date remains 1985's My Heart's on Fire, supported by the single The Heat in Me. In 2001, she secured her 4th UK singles chart entry with Ride the Storm Builders' Akaboo, featuring Linda Clifford. Her most recent single, Baby I'm Yours, was released in 2011. And in 2012, she renewed interest in the Clifford's music service when I Just Wanna, a minor hit in 1979, was featured as a love theme in the Lee Daniels film The Paperboy. That was Linda Clifford.
There we go.
with other boys. Don't tell me what to do, and don't tell me what to say. Please, when I go out with you, don't put me on display, 'cause you don't own me. Don't try to change me in any way. You don't own me. Don't tie me down, 'cause I'll never stay. Oh, I don't tell you what to say, and I don't tell you what to do. So just let me be myself. That's all I ask of you. I'm young and I love to be young. I'm free, yeah, and I love to be free, to live my life the way I want, to say and do whatever I please. Don't tell me what to do, and you don't tell me what to say. And please, when I go out with you, don't put me on display, 'cause I don't tell you what to say, baby. And I don't tell you what to do, but that's not the thing, yeah. You gotta say it, that's all we say, that's all we say. La 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 la, la 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 la. Shoot-da, do-da, shoot-da, shoot-da, do-da, 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 do-da.
Well, Michael, we're playing a bit of a mixture this morning, aren't we? A mixed bag of music. That was the Blow Monkeys. They're a British new wave pop rock, sophisti-pop and alternative rock band that was formed in 1981. First single, Live Today, Love Tomorrow, was released in the following year, and they subsequently enjoyed a successful career with several hit singles and albums across the 80s before splitting up. And at the beginning of the 1990s, the first song on the charts was Digging Your Scene, which hit number 12 on the UK singles charts and number 14 on Billboard in August 86. They had 4 albums, 11 singles in the UK charts from 86 to 90, and in late 2007 the original band members reunited, and they've subsequently released 4 new albums, one of them a live recording. The members are Dr. Robert, alias Robert Howard, Neville Henry, Mick Anker and Tony Kiley, and now, as I say, they're from the UK. What more do we know?
Well, I don't know really. Outside of the group, though, actually included on their 4th album, Whoops, There Goes the Neighbourhood, a successful single released by Robert Howard, was Wait, that featured early Chicago house diva Kim Mazel on female lead vocals. The record was an early British recording in the subgenre dubbed UK Garage. So that was when UK Garage first came about then, was it?
It's really by Petrol, isn't it?
Yeah, the track reached number 7 in the UK chart, and it would later appear in the Blow Monkeys on the Blow Monkeys' first greatest hits album Choices, the singles collection. Their highest charting record, reaching number 5 in the UK album charts in 1989. The band split up in the late 1990s, shortly after the release of their 5th album, Springtime for the World. An EP of the same name also came out, collecting all 3 singles from the album. And after briefly recording with Dave C. Lee as Slam Slam, Dr. Robert went solo. He contributed to Paul Weller's solo debut album and co-wrote material with both Weller and Lee. Another notable collaborator was Beth Orton. In November 2007, the original band members announced the reunion of the Blow Monkeys, as well as a new album, Devil's Tavern, and a tour of 2008. The album was funded by pre-orders produced by the fans, and the release date for the album was the 8th of September in 2008. Q magazine reviewed the album by saying, "Their first album in 18 years still finds the frontman in fine voice. Robert continues to sound like he dresses only in velvet and smokes cigarillos."
Where do they get the name from? Blow? Isn't Blow cocaine?
I remember cigarillos.
Yeah, like little cigars, aren't they?
I don't know, that's right, 2009, the band released a special edition double digipack CD and DVD of their performance at the 100 Club in London. And it featured the original band performing 15 songs, including Digging Your Scene, It Doesn't Have to Be This Way, and Wait, as well as other tracks from the band's earlier work, along with a few new songs from Devil's Tavern. In 2011, in January, the band released another new album, Staring at the Sea, with Stepping Down as the first single issued. Their latest album, Feels Like a New Morning, was released by Cherry Red Records in April of last year, accompanied by a second CD containing 10 Blow Monkeys songs performed by Dr. Robert. And in 2013, Sony Music issued a comprehensive 3-box set, Halfway to Heaven, The Best of the Blow Monkeys, and Dr. Robert, covering The Best of the Blow Monkeys, Dr. Robert's solo work, as well as a 1984 concert from the Hammersmith Palais. It's interesting, really, that they've actually still, survived, as it were, in that respect. But they have done very well.
Perhaps I should call myself Dr. Robert. What do you think?
I think you should, actually. I think you should call yourself Dr. Robert.
That's nearly that time again, isn't it?
Well, unfortunately it is. We're going to be back tomorrow morning with the Grumpy Old Men. That'll be 4 of us, won't it?
It will.
There we go. I'm very pleased to sort of say that the next show here on Secular Sounds is live.
It is.
And it's called
Autistic. Oh, no, what's it called? Articulate.
Articulate.
Autistic. Articulate.
Right. This one doesn't need any introduction whatsoever. Through the Barricades. But from me, Mike Barry.
And me, Bob Bluffield.
Cheerio.
Goodbye.
She says it must be youth that keeps us feeling strong. I see her in a face that's turned to ice, and when she smiles she shows the lines of sacrifice. And now I know what they're saying as our sun begins to fade. When we made our love on wasteland and through the back